Hey everyone, it's Lizzie and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am sharing our second paycheck of July and how we are managing to break it up to try to reach all of our financial goals. So if you're interested in watching how I break down our budget using the bill tracker method, then keep on watching. This is the paycheck budget, and I have on the side here our bill tracker. But if you are new here, thank you so much for joining the family here. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. I talk all things budgeting and I emphasize it to do it in a way that makes sense to you and your family. So no one's budget is identical. Everyone's financial situation is different and goals are different. So you just have to tweak things in a way that makes sense to you and do it simply. Don't overcomplicate things because sometimes that just doesn't work out. So today we are working with a starting balance of $916, and this is after we have paid for our tithe because we are no longer sharing our actual income. If you don't know, we are a one income household. A lot of things have changed this year, and just to kind of summarize our whole situation for those that are new, my husband, he started up a company in 2020, and in 2020, in September actually, he quit his corporate job and started working for himself full-time. And I was still working as a banker, and in March of this year, 2021, we both decided that it was time for me to quit my job. So I quit my job and I helped my husband run our business from home. And it's just been a lot. It has been a lot of changes taken place and growing pains. And sorry that you hear the lawnmower. They're working on the yard right now. Hopefully it's not too loud. So yeah, I quit my job and I've been working from home ever since March. So it has definitely been a big adjustment for us. And so this is after, we've allocated what needs to be allocated for tithing and everything. So we love to budget using percentages, and I've shared this many times. It's nice to do it this way because it's not necessarily just for one specific group of people. Depending on your income, you can try out this method and see if it works for you. We want to aim to live within 70% of what our income is to break down for all of our bills, for all of our daily spending, and the rest will be applied to tithing, and the 20% will be for the goal. So it's broken down into expenses, goal, and tithe. So that's what this little section is here. But being that we've already allocated for our tithe, I just put a little X there, and we're not focusing on that. So really it's 90% from this remaining balance for the expenses, and then 10% of that number is what the goal amount would be. For you, if you're using this worksheet or something similar, you would break this up based on your income. So 70 or 80% of your income will then be for expenses, and then you'll break it down for your goal. And if you tithe, you can do it that way. But I do have other worksheets that don't have the fixed number here in case you don't tithe or you don't give. So with that being said, we are working with 916, and this is what the breakdown looks like. Let me actually zoom you guys in just a bit so you can see a little clearer. So this is what the total amount looks like for what our goals are. So 825 is what we're gonna aim to have it be our living expenses. So that's our bills, and then the regular like random variable spending. So for our giving, we love to be able to give above the tithe, to be able to either give to an organization or a person that we see or find out that is in need. This is just something that we have considered offering. So just something that's above that, so that way we can bless the community and just be the light of this world, because that's what we're called to do. We're supposed to spread love and joy and just be encouraging to others and uplift. So if we have the capability to bless someone, why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we want to help and help those in need? So that's what this section is for. So we're gonna budget out $10 of that, And now we're left with $906 to budget out for. So this section right here, let me pull this back up so that way you can follow along where I got these numbers. This is my bill tracker, and what I do is I break down our expenses by paycheck. And I like utilizing a spreadsheet like this because it doesn't overwhelm you when you are breaking down your budget. Sometimes you can feel like so much of your finances is going to a particular bill, but once you break down your expenses this way, it can kind of alleviate some of that stress and not put a big bang on your budget because a lot of your money is going towards that. You can break down your bills by paycheck. So you list out all of your bills right here with the due dates, and then I highlight when you have to have those bills ready and fully funded to be able to be paid from your bank account, because a lot of the time you have these set on auto pay. That's what we do. It just is so convenient to schedule it that way so you're not going to be late on your bills. But you need to know, well, when do you need to have that money ready and there in your account to pay? So when I highlight, I know that on any given payday I have to have a certain amount ready. So that's what the highlights are. And then when we break down our bills by paycheck, you just take your total due and you divide it up by the number of paydays leading up to when you have to have that fully funded. So a lot of the time it's for those larger expenses that you'd want to do this. So that could be your health insurance, your rent or mortgage, your utilities, your car payments. Larger bills is really where this can benefit you. That way it doesn't put that big blow on your budget. So right now we're budgeting for this payday, the 16th, and that's where I got these numbers. So I went down the column and I just wrote in these bills. So $375 for rent. We have our electric, $25. And then trainer, we pay my husband's trainer every 2 weeks, $150. So we just separated it this way. So $150 is going to be for a trainer. And then we have the life insurance, our water. We set aside just a portion of what we think our water bill is going to be for the upcoming month. So that's how we utilize the bill tracker, and I have used that system for a really long time and it's just been very, very beneficial. Then we have this credit card, and we had some unbudgeted expenses take place. You're gonna see that in the weekly check-in, but there was some transactions that had taken place that it just wasn't budgeted for. It was kind of a spur of the moment situation, but I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all, but it is something that we obviously have to pay back because we don't want to be in debt. So to those of you that don't use credit cards, that's great. We are 100% debt-free, consumer debt-free, by the way, and we accomplish that by a lot of life-altering decisions, and we know now how to utilize credit cards responsibly so that way you can earn like rewards and it can help with your credit. So anyways, $69.62 is what we have to pay back on our credit cards so that way it won't like carry a balance. And then because this amount is so minimal that we're budgeting out for, we're just gonna add $10 into our cushion. We're gonna leave it in the bank account and hope that we don't use it and slowly build that cushion up, because we did end up using some of the cushion for this credit card payment. So $741 is what this expense amount is. And if we go back up here, $825 is what we had said that we wanted to be within the goal amount. So I'm just gonna put my calculator right here and keep the 825 handy. So we've already allocated $741.32 for our bills. So that's the spending category, but we wanna be within that $821. So where do you break up your budget? Like how much do you know that you have to put into your daily variable spending? So right now, for us to be within that goal amount, we have $83.68 left to break down. So this is why I love the percentage formula so much, because there was a time where I had no clue of like how much money should I really be putting into these different categories. I always had a question of, well, how do you know how much you should put into these categories? The percentage formula and the percentage method can help with figuring that number out, so that way you can still reach all of your financial goals. So $83 is what I have to be within that goal amount that I wanted. So because we had some of our variable or unbudgeted items come through, we're gonna not stuff anything for eating out because that is not a need. We have very minimal amount of money to work with right now to be within that goal amount. So we're gonna focus on the important things, right? So obviously it's food. So I have to stuff our grocery envelope, which is $75. And just FYI, let me pull out the cash envelope so that way you can see like what we're working with and why I came up with those numbers. So eating out, we used up all of the eating out money. There's nothing left over right now. Gas, we still have $20. I ended up rolling over $10 of this to our miscellaneous budget because I have about half a tank right now in my car, and putting $20 will be good for me for the week. Groceries, we used all of this, so I have nothing left in there. That's why we do have to stuff it. Miscellaneous, I have $2 left over in this. And then my personal spending, I have $2 left. So with this paycheck, this is specifically for like our needs. I do earn a paycheck from YouTube and Etsy, and all of those will be able to apply for like other random spending and then our savings. So just keep that in mind. Let's go back to this. $75, we usually budget out every week for groceries. So I'll be stuffing $75. And then miscellaneous, I'm just gonna add $3 into that because there usually is like random occurrences that take place throughout the week. I'm not gonna give myself any spending from this paycheck. And then for my husband from this, we're giving him $5 because he has money still in his account and he's pretty good with his spending. So we're just gonna do $5 for now. It's highlighted because we don't stuff this, we just transfer it into his online bank account. So $83 is what this category total is, and we're still left with $82.45 to budget out for. So this is where you can sit down and really consider and say, okay, well, what is the biggest goal that you have? Do you have debt? Maybe you should apply this towards your debt. Or if you don't have a savings account, emergency fund, savings account, maybe you should apply this to that. Or if you're wanting to save for other expenses and events that are coming up in your life, you might want to plug those numbers into that. So that's where sinking funds come in. Sinking funds vary person to person. It all depends on your goals and like what's happening in your life. So a lot of common ones are holidays, gifts, vacation, clothing, let's see, pet visits, things like that. So stuff that you know is going to occur that you're going to have to pay for, and you want to save little by little each time you get paid. So any dollar amount that you apply into that, it's okay. There's no, how do I say, like minimum, or it's not wrong if you only save $1. If you save $1, that's $1 more that you did not have for a category. So you're gonna see a lot of dollars, and I have no shame in my game. I have no shame in that. I'm saving, and that's what's important. So it's small because we're working with kind of a small number, but I will be adding more for this from like my side income. Highlights are all online banks, and only 3 I have in my actual cash because those I pay on a somewhat regular basis. So having it in an online account, it doesn't really make sense for us since we do spend. So we're gonna be stuffing $1 for beauty. Yes, that's a whole lot of money, I know. Thank you. Car maintenance, we're adding $2. Christmas, we're adding $20. My husband's birthday, we're adding $5. Our fun savings, we're adding $5. Gifts, we're adding $5. Health, which is for our vitamins, protein shakes, all of those things, we're adding $1. I know, a whole lot of money. Thank you. My birthday, we're adding $5, and then pet, we're adding $1. So $45 is all going to sinking funds. 3 of that 45 is being added to our cash sinking funds. So we still have $37.45 left over. This again is where you're gonna sit and say, what are our goals? Where would we want this money to go to. So you're gonna see this allocated into 3 different savings categories: our emergency fund, our home fund, and then retirement. This is a new one. So we made our first contribution, being self-employed, to the retirement account this week, and I was so excited. So the retirement is technically like a sinking fund. And I put it in quotes because this is just gonna be left in our checking account until we build it up to a minimum of $10. So we can make it like minimum $10 contributions. So anyways, we want to add to our emergency fund. So $30 is going into that. Home fund, this is to save for a down payment on our future home, which we're slowly getting there. We've had a few bumps in the road to have us pause, but we're starting back up, kind of slow, but we're getting the, we're getting the ball rolling. And then retirement, we're gonna set aside $2 to be able to make a contribution to our retirement. That is what our paycheck budget looks like. And let me show you what cash we are breaking down. Everything I use, by the way, all these worksheets and stuff is linked in the description box down below. So if you have any questions about that, just check there first. So we're stuffing just a few cash envelopes, and this is what our breakdown looks like, how I want the cash. But let me go ahead and just fill out this teller slip from what is written here in this cash breakdown. 11 ones, 2 5s, 3 10s, and then 2 20s. And that gives us the total of, I think it's $91, if I'm not mistaken. So $91 is what I will be withdrawing from the bank to stuff our cash envelope. So this is what our paycheck budget again looks like, and how I figure out some of these numbers, plug everything in. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to join the family. I love sharing tips and strategies of things that worked for us, things that did not work for us, and just be real and just know that I am human and we make mistakes, but it's always a new week. There's always a new month, and you can always start over and correct things that need to be corrected. So that's why I love and I'm so passionate about budgeting, because it works if you work it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys right here in the cash stuffing video on Thursday. I will post that. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you then. Bye guys.